Hello from me and my butterflies. I wanted to introduce my little baby butterflies to you guys and tell you more about how the butterfly breeding process is the ultimate lesson to teach us about metamorphosis, rebirth, transformation, glow-ups, and everything in between. So if you're new here, for the past couple of years, I have been breeding butterflies. Yes, these are real painted lady butterflies. Got about 10 of them right now. And the reason why I started this beautiful practice is because butterflies have taught me so much about life. You know, they start as little caterpillars. They're tiny, they're going around, they don't know, what's going to become, and they're just eating, kind of like in their tiny little box. And it's sort of like us in our lives. Like we are doing the same thing, the same patterns, the same norms, and then all of a sudden we feel the call to shift. And so these little caterpillars, and I'm curious what goes on in their consciousness, but something calls to them to create a chrysalis of themselves. So they create these beautiful chrysalises that they start to go into, and they're shaking, and you can see they're going through this process. They're going through this rebirth. So for you, that might look like your breakup, the pain that you're experiencing, your darkening of the soul. For me, it was my divorce, was my ultimate, just like going into the depths of my own pain, my own sadness, my own grief, all of the unfelt feelings I hadn't felt my entire life. And when we go into that cocoon, when you're going into your internal winter, and right now for a lot of us, we are in our collective winter, we are forced to face the things that we've never felt before. And so they emerge from these chrysalis all of a sudden as a new being. They had no idea what they would become on the other end. I'm going to introduce you to the rest. But all of a sudden now they've got wings. And as they, this one can't fly yet, he was just born yesterday. As they start to dry their wings, they gain the ability to fly. So as we learn through the failure, we try again, like Aaliyah says, that is actually what gives us the strength to fly. So let's see some of the other incredible butterflies in here. Okay, sorry, I'm doing this with one hand and the butterfly's still on me. So you can see here, we've got lots of them. And so, this guy still wants to come out. I'll put you down here, get some sugar water, and let's bring in this little beauty. Oh, doesn't want to come. There we go. Hello. So to me, butterflies remind me that through our darkest night, through our dark moment, that chrysalis that we're going through, which I feel our collective humanity is going through right now. We're collectively in this chrysalis, in this dark night of the soul that we don't know how we're going to find our way through the other side. We must trust. So do you see these little micro movements? That's how it's drying its wings to prepare it to fly. So it's like every single little part of the practice, though we don't understand why we're doing it, is all part of this divine cycle. We need to go in through the voids. We need to go through the darkness. We need to go through the chaos for us to have the strength, for us to have the nuance, for us to have the vocabulary, the desire to even step into this new iteration of ourselves that nothing else could have caused us to be. I remember my life prior to my divorce, I was not thinking of like true capital L love. Like, what is the meaning of love? Like, I was like, oh, I'm married, and through the divorce, through the darkening of the soul, I was like, what is actually love about, And so the thing that we experience the greatest pain, oh, wow, that one's flying around so nicely right now. Good job. Good job. So through going through that pain, it causes us to question that thing. As Rumi says, where the wound is, there is the way. And so if you've experienced pain of poverty, it's because you're here to know abundance. If you've experienced pain of heartbreak, you're here to learn true love. If you're experiencing pain of confusion, it's because you're here to learn purpose. We're always going to experience pain in that unique area that we need to focus our energy on, because nothing else would have caused us to get our PhD in that thing than the not having of it. The not having of it is what gives us the desire to even go into these deeper trenches that most people don't. You know, when you have the thing, someone that already has had money their entire lives and never struggled with it, they don't go on a journey of understanding abundance. They're like, oh yeah, I got money, I'm good. Someone who already, you know, for me, I was with my ex-husband since I was 24 years old. I never really questioned love. It was something that came easily to me. And then they're going through the divorce. It's like, oh, wow, now this is becoming my focus to truly do the work, to have the big love that I'm here to experience. So I'm curious what it is for you that your soul's curriculum is having you guide yourself into. And please share with me. I'm very curious, and I'll bring out some other butterflies. So I do set them free. They're with me for a couple of days. It is quite cold in LA right now, so they're not going to survive for very long out there. So I do want them to be able to live as much of a life as they can. When they're here, they're like fed and they have sugar water and everything. You know, out there, at this time, they don't live for that long, but I do set them free. Ay Dios. Here we go. Little beauty right here. Oh, do you see that micro movement? So that's vibration. Everything in this world is vibration. Butterflies are so intelligent. Like, this little lady can fly to Mexico if she wanted to. Isn't that freaking cool? So that's like us. We're encoded with these processes inside of ourselves that we don't even realize. Like, we know how to transform. That's what the word alchemy is about. You know, the ancient Egyptians, which is my, you know, one of my biggest studies, was all about the death and rebirth process. It's all about when we go into that lead, that soil, that manure, that shitty fucking experience, we can transmute it into gold. We can transmute it into our greatest gift. Oh, good job. There you go. Just fell. So they're learning how to fly right now. We'll let him go. We won't chase our butterflies around right now, though. That is a fun hobby I love. So for those of you who are like, I want to grow butterflies, you can just buy caterpillars online. It's pretty easy. This company was called Insect Lore. Absolutely love it. It's such a fun thing that you can do with your kids. And every single day I look at these butterflies and they've grown so much. And it's also such a reminder to me that, you know, sometimes we think like, to change my life, it's going to take years, and it doesn't. It actually just takes a moment, a decision to be like, you know what? I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to move to Europe. I'm going to start this new hobby. I'm going to start DJing. I'm going to start dressing a certain way. Whatever the thing is, let that breakdown, let that fertile soil become the training ground for you to become this butterfly version of yourself that you would have never even thought about being without it. So I hope this supports you. Me and my butterflies send you so much freaking love. Let's give them a last goodbye right here. That's you, the butterfly of becoming. I'll save this live. You can look at it. And I dive in more this week on Highest Self Podcast. It's such a good one. We're talking about sacred union. It's like the juiciest conversation about like love and its nuances and lessons learned. It is so funny as well. So in my link in bio, you can find my YouTube channel. It's also on Spotify, Highest Self Podcast. That's where I like really share every week, like deeper lessons and deeper stories. I'm going to record a solo cast right now. And so if you've not listened to my podcast, that's the place for us to really hang. Love you guys. Adios. And talk to you later.